Who's this in honour of, then?
Detective Inspector Stoddart, on the club squad. Just a little celebration on account of him being cleared of the allegations made against him. Reinstated without a stain on his character.
Oh, wow.
So Mr. Stanley's just laid a bit of a, you know... The club owners were stuck by him, like. Some of them even had an unofficial whip round for him while he was suspended.
Same as they was doing before he was suspended.
That reminds me, Mr. Cox, I was wanting a word with you, because, you know, whenever I have any difficulties of a legal nature, I always come to you.
Yes, Cyril. That is one of the sad facts that has led to my recent tribulations with the Law Society.
Well, you weren't struck off, were you?
Well, no. Let's just say that there was a period when Her Majesty had me assigned to other duties.
Bit of a black mark, is it, with the other solicitors going in the niff?
They get a bit snotty.
The thing is, Mr. Cox, I've been done for speeding.
All right. Whose car were you in?
Out of stock. I was on my way to give this punter a test drive.
A car out of your stock? Speeding? I think we have to consider the possibility of a frame-up there.
Boys and girls, the man of the hour!
I hope that's the real thing, Colin, none of your Spanish stuff.
For you, Inspector, and it gives me a lot of pleasure, may I say, to be able to use that honorific title once again. May I say that those of us here today never doubted your innocence for a single moment, and we all had perfect confidence that the disciplinary committee would find it as done. I give you, Inspector Arthur Stoddart, the pride, once again, of the club squad.
How'd he get off? He's as bent as a dog's back leg.
Glennis. All the allegations were investigated by a high-ranking officer from a completely different lodge. So much so that they've all clubbed up and presented him with a lovely inscribed death aid and a new white stick.
Just like to shake your hand, Arthur. As far as we in Clubland are concerned, a slur on you is a slur on us, and we feel that very deeply. And as you know yourself, Arthur, we in Clubland are all decent, law-abiding citizens, and when we find out who's been saying different about you, don't you worry. You won't be winning any old-time dancing medals for a while, OK?
Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know the lads in the traffic division, Arthur, but, well, them and me, we've had a bit of a misunderstanding, you know, and I think a word in the right ear, and we can all save ourselves a lot of time and...
Marco!
Not to say public money.
Save me from this prat,
And,
will you?
Done myself a bit of good there. That's how it's done, Wes. He can't let on, can he? It's all like a wink and a nod.
Or in this case, a wink and a get knotted.
All the same, Mr. Cox, I would appreciate it if you'd have a look through this lot. You've gone mad with this stuff.
It's not just the speeding, though, Mr. Cox. See for yourself. They've gone back to the Doomsday Book looking for stuff to do him on.
Speeding, failure to obey traffic signals, failure to produce valid MOT, failure to produce licence and insurance, driving without valid MOT, driving whilst uninsured, driving with defective tyres. It goes on a bit, doesn't it?
What am I likely to get, Mr. Cox?
Well, I think if it's a nice day for the trial, they'll just take you outside and look for a good high branch to throw the rope over.
I'm talking to Mr. Cox, Wesley, who happens to be a solicitor from time to time. Mr. Cox.
Wes has just about summed it up, Cyril. This is all the one occasion, is it?
Yes?
Well, don't give it to me. You might stand some chance with Norris McGregor. Cyril, the penalty points you stand to get from this lot, I mean, it's telegram claims required, do you know what I mean? You've hit the jackpot.
Do you think I could get disqualified?
Well, right now, does your licence carry any endorsements?
His licence carries more endorsements than Nicky Lauder's overalls.
I don't know what he's worried about. He's got a perfect defence. How could you have been speeding? The engine wasn't even switched on. It wasn't even going. Remember, he was freewheeling to save petrol.
Well, the petrol needle goes so far down, it wasn't even shown on the dial, like, it was like halfway down the radio.
And this is your defence, is it? This is what you want me to get up and say to the bench?
You don't think there's the makings at all?
Well, the best thing you could do, Cyril, is enter a plea in mitigation.
Well, you mean like where you say I done it, but then you explain there's a good reason at the time?
That's the job, aye.
Any ideas?
Well, I mean, you could say that you was in a hurry to get to the laundrette.
The laundrette?
To wash the blood off your shirt, because you just murdered the fella next door.
Why would they say that?
Because it'd do you a lot more good than saying you was freewheeling. They got a thing about freewheeling. It's one of the worst crimes of all. Any road, let's have a go. Why were you speeding?
What do you mean, why?
Why was you travelling at 62 mile an hour?
Well, you don't have to have a reason, do you? You don't say, like, oh, me granny's sick, I must get there at 62 miles an hour. She was a bit sicker to go at 72. She was looking up and only go at 42, you know.
You know, in a court of law, you do have to have reasons for speeding. And these reasons are seriously considered by the bench and carry due weight.
After all, Cyril, if you can give them a good reason, then they have to adjourn to consider it. And that gives them a chance to go out into the back room, where they can have a laugh and a cup of tea, and rub their bunions and scratch their backsides, which they've been sitting on all morning. Then when they come back in, they forgot what you were up for. But that little break and a chocolate biscuit makes all the difference. Puts them in a better frame of mind. Do you follow me?
You should have gone in for the law, Wes. You've got a natural understanding for it. Now, what we're looking for is something fairly plausible that will enable the magistrates to look on Cyril's case with sympathy instead of locking him up.
Lock it up for speeding.
No, they can take your licence away.
But they can't, Mr. Cox. If I lose my licence, I'll lose my entire livelihood.
Oh, aye. We'll be stressing that in a big way. And of course, if your business suffers, you'll have to lay people off. And so your employees will be unjustly punished for your crime. Oh, aye.
Mr. Cox, what are you talking about? What employees?
The young lads. Recent school leavers, mostly, who otherwise face a bleak future in depressed Merseyside.
Yeah. The lads that we have taken on and given an opportunity to learn about the world of work. Wake up, Cyril.
Oh, yeah, them lads.
Cyril, we are entering the world of the magistrate's court now. It's not like the ordinary world. It's a world of fantasy and imagination. You know, where men who spend all day in the boozer are suddenly unaccustomed to strong drink. Where everybody's behaviour is entirely out of character, your worship, and where everybody's home address is the Garden of Flippin' Eden because they've never done no wrong. Well, only the once. Bring in the export right, Mr. Cox.
It's fair to say, is it, that you have export orders on your books which are helping Britain's balance of trade? And these orders depend crucially on your being able to drive them out?
No.
Ah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
More like it.
But, Mr. Cox, what if they look into it? I mean, I think the furthest we've had of customers probably Wrexham.
Oh, well, there you are, you see. Wales. Exports. Now, where were you going?
Well, like I say, I was going to put the car through its paces for a punter.
Why was Glennis with you?
Well, the battery's not too clever. Sometimes needs a push. And then we were going round to her mum's any road.
Oh, you were hurrying to take your fiancée to be at her mother's side. Good. An invalid at all, the old lady?
No.
Ah, shame that. But not even a bit off colour.
Sound as a throat. Oh, now you come to mention it, she did have a toothache.
Hurrying to be at her mother's side because that poor lady was living in constant pain.
Yeah, now I remember. She said it had been killing her all day.
And whom the daughter understood at that time to be not long for this world. And on his errand of mercy, your worships, understandably, my client made haste. Too much haste. Quite inadvertently, but your worships may think understandably, even forgivably. My client broke the law and has expressed his strong desire, through me, to apologise deeply and humbly to the court for a misdemeanour that he regrets very much and assures me there is no danger that he will ever be tempted to repeat. As to his other offences, the tyres, the lights, the failure to produce an MOT certificate, or to possess an MOT certificate, or to display or possess a road fund excise licence, and failure to comply with a traffic signal, to wit, the red light at the junction. All this, your worships, was the result of a simple misunderstanding.
Well, you did what you could. No one can deny that.
Although, says it myself, I've not lost my own touch. No, I was quite pleased. I was a bit nervous to begin with, being a bit rusty-like, but I think I did a good job there.
I got banned for 28 days, Mr. Cox.
Well, it could have been 3 months. Hey, Cyril, have you got the, because I could do with it, like, you know?
Yeah.
Ta, Cyril. Can I give you a lift, Cyril?
No time, Mr. Cox. Sooner walk.
Well, that's lucky, considering.
Oh, it's nice to see you here, Dolly. Not often we have the privilege.
It's nice to get out, Colwyn. We're just trying to give Cyril and Glenys a chance, you know.
A chance? How do you mean?
Do a bit of courting, like.
Courting. Ah, Dolly, courting. Lovely word for a lovely thing. Bit of poetry about it. Mind you, what Cyril gets up to isn't courting, it's more like Olympic weightlifting. Seize firmly in both hands, sudden grunt, gasp and drop, all over.
Yeah, well, I know courting's not what it was in my young day. Even Cyril's dad, he never came round to our house without something for me mother. In fact, he brought more little things for me mother than what he did for me.
Get away.
Yeah. Well, when I first knew him, before he went on the trams, like, he'd a very good position at Patterson and Dooley's, the big brush factory. He was very highly thought of there. That made him a great favourite where my mother was concerned, because, well, he could lay his hands on things like mop heads at a time when they was very difficult to come by.
Is that right?
Yeah. I well remember me mother saying, just casually, that she'd do anything if only she could lay her hands on a good yard brush. And he was round before tea time the day after with the biggest yard brush you ever seen. When I come home from work, they were still upstairs thumping away, trying to knock a handle into it. I remember me mother shouting down, "We're just knocking an handle into this yard brush. You go down the shop and get a quarter of tea."
You was innocent, wasn't you, Dolly?
Oh, aye. Nothing but a flighty girl, Colwyn. I wouldn't have known how to appreciate a good yard brush then.
What's all this got to do with Glenys and Cyril?
Well, you must remember yourself, Mr. Stanley, in the old days before there was cassettes, when people had to make their own in-car entertainment.
Oh, yeah, sensible cars they had in them days. Bench seats, column gear change, made for the job.
Well, with our flats having walls like Kleenex and no parlour, pretty well their entire courtship takes place in his car. But with that being ruled out of bounds by the courts, here we are and there they are.
Very tactful it was, wasn't it? Taking your mum out. Got the place all to ourselves.
Yeah.
I hope he wasn't wasting his time.
How do you mean?
Well, you don't seem very passionate. Don't you feel passionate?
I am, yes. I'm just interested in this, that's all.
Be honest.
I am being, it's just
what?
It's funny, that's all.
It's nice, though. Knowing like there's no danger of coppers suddenly peering in through the windows. Well, not unless Chris Bonington's joined the force. That's one thing you can say for a tower block. Do you want me to cover the budgie?
In a minute.
I don't think you know where to start if you've got no handbrake to climb over.
You're not tired, are you, ma'am? Because we want to give them a good crack of the whip, like.
Get away, really?
Figure of speech, Mr. Stanley. To be perfectly honest, I've got no idea what they get up to, but you don't mind stopping out, ma'am?
I'm just starting to enjoy myself. There's a fella over there, I'm sure he was giving me the eye.
Well, if he gives you any bother, I'll get Nigel to sort him out for you.
Mind your own business, you. Just keep out of it.
You ever been banned yourself, Mr. Stanley?
What, me? No danger. Never.
Clean licence?
Well, they can't endorse my licence, can they?
Why not?
Well, they've no powers. They can't endorse an overseas visitor. They take one glance, give you a warning and wave you on.
Permit to drive. Territorial administration, British mandate of Palestine. Where'd you get this?
Been in a family for years. Kept it for the signature as much as anything.
Brigadier B.L. Montgomery.
Worth a few bob. That was before Alamein and all.
Look, ma'am, Monty's signature. General Montgomery. Never lost a battle. He was the most successful general in the war. You must remember him.
Well, I'd like to say I do, but I don't. I remember the shop they had. But I believe he never took much interest in the business after he joined up. It was the younger brothers carried that on, and I do remember them. They was older than me, but very friendly. They didn't keep themselves apart as much as the other Jewish people.
Ma'am, he wasn't Jewish.
He was. I ought to know. They only come from 2 streets away from me mother's.
Are you dead sure, ma'am?
Well, call me a liar. They didn't come from there. That's where they had the shop. I believe they lived in a nice house off Ullet Road. It was very highly recommended for suits, the trousers in particular.
Well, either way, ma'am, there's not many people driving round on a licence signed by him.
Magic this was in the 50s. Coppers now don't even recognise the signature. I feel like saying to him, if it wasn't for him, son, you'd be wearing jack boots and carrying a Luger, but I don't.
Well, you wouldn't.
No, clean as a whistle.
Good job it wasn't your marriage licence, eh, Col? You'd have had that endorsed a few times.
You're right there, Dolly. Mind you, if they'd have been sensible, they'd have took that off me altogether. Banned for life.
I'm sorry, Claire.
Am I doing something wrong?
No, it's just...
Do you want me to put on another cassette?
It's not the music, Glynis.
Usually gets you going, this one, in the car. Usually start breathing funny. And you get little beads of sweat on your hairline. Well, where your hairline would be. I've noticed that.
Well, it's not sweating now, is it? Glynis. When they took away my licence, they didn't just take away a piece of paper. They took away...
Oh, come on, Cyril. I mean, I haven't got a licence either. I've never had a licence.
Yeah, but it's different for a man. I mean, you don't need a licence because you got a man to drive you around. I mean, that is the man's role. Only now. I can't carry out a man's role, Glenn, do you know what I mean?
You mean, it's not going to be no good for 28 days, 27?
I don't know, it's just never happened before.
I think if you've been drinking.
Oh, yeah, well, all right, we'll have had a few bevies, but that's normal.
No, I mean, when we did you. If you'd been breathalyzed, it would have been a year at least. Been doing that an awful lot.
What?
Scratching like that.
Oh, no, I don't know what it is. I seem to be coming up with this rash all over me. It's like heat bumps or something.
Oh, well, look on the bright side. At least something's coming up.
It's eczema. Had it before?
I don't think so.
It could be an allergy.
Allergy? To what?
Could be anything. We'll arrange some tests. Could be stress, of course. Moving house, changing jobs, promotion, marital difficulties. Are you married?
I've been. It could be going that way again, but not just at the moment, you know.
Divorced.
Right.
It didn't come out in a rash like this at the time of the divorce.
No? Mind you, now you come to mention it, it wasn't when I was getting divorced. It was just before I got married. I used to get this terrible itching at night all around my arms.
And now you've got a new relationship, and a second marriage is imminent.
Imminent? Well, yes and no, really. She's found out. I mean, she knows my divorce has come through, so...
I see. Yes, Mr. McGregor, I think it's possible you may be allergic to getting married.
Get away? Is that right? Any chance you could get us a note, like?
Next patient.
No, I am changing to another doctor. I don't care who they are, I'm not being spoken to like that. And he showed no sympathy. You'd think that would be the first requirement for a doctor, wouldn't you?
Well, did you tell him you'd been banned?
No, not really.
Well, you should have done. I'm certain that's what's causing your rash. It could be something to do with, like, stress, which is affecting your lifestyle. Why didn't you mention it?
Well, you don't like to, do you?
Why not? He's a doctor. You should be able to tell him anything.
Look, there are some things, Wes, I mean, how do you react when somebody tells you that they've had the licence took away? It's like mingled pity and contempt, innit? Well, I won't take that from anyone. I won't be looked down on and I won't be pitied.
Cyril, it's not like having your manhood taken away.
No, isn't it, Wes?
No. No. Oh.
It's affected me in every way, Wes. I can't sing even.
Come on.
Even that. I mean, there's me singing by the time I get to Phoenix. On a bike. I can't put myself into it.
So it's like you being disqualified has made you incapable of expressing your masculinity, or making any overtures to Glennis, or responding to any overtures Glennis might be making to you, which in turn has knocked the ketchup out of your ability to flash the old tonsils with that accustomed degree of searing conviction.
And once that's gone, Wes, all my ambition's gone with it. And you know me, Wes. Ambition's always been a big driving force. Without that force, what am I? Nothing. That's how I feel. Nothing.
The key to this, Cyril, is to re-establish a normal relationship with Glenys, right? Now, I can fix that for you.
You can.
Just follow my instructions. Be at the club tonight and I'll pick you up at closing time.
I don't know, Inspector. If they can't take it, why do they accept it?
I take your point, Cole. But it's the kind of fella you get in these days.
Shocking.
Come on, Sergeant, shake yourself. We've got 3 more clubs to do yet.
I'd like to know where we're going.
One of your favourite places, don't worry.
Where are we going?
You'll see. Left of the lights, Jimmy. There you are. Your very own comfortable and familiar surroundings.
Oh, Wes, did you have to go to the trouble of coming and parking the car out here?
Well, what's a brother for?
Hey, Cyril, you can't just get in a car for that purpose and no other. I mean, you've got to go somewhere. It's at least got to move. You know my principles about that.
Jump in the back, Glenn. Yeah, she's happy now. Oh, and I'm hanging on to these, so she won't be under any temptation. Well, not under that temptation, any road.
I had a good skin, Wes. But tell me, why the cab? Why didn't we come in your car?
Well, I'm hoping this is going to work, Cyril, because if it does, Jimmy knows the way now. I mean, if you recover your full vigour, I haven't got the time to be running you out here and back twice a week.
Come on, Cyril. What are you waiting for?